So, my buddy Jacob Tebow, you probably know him if you're subscribed to his channel or whatever, um, or if you follow him on Facebook or whatever. Anyway, I was just on Facebook and he's in a movie. Yeah, he actually made a movie with his friends. And, it's about aliens. And they can't control his mind because he's autistic. And I thought that was a very interesting plot, because it makes sense, right? Because autistic people think differently than others. And yeah, which gave me an idea for this video, right? Because a lot of people wonder, what is autism? I have an uncle who's autistic. I've got, I had a best friend growing up that was autistic. And I've got Jacob. This is not Jacob. That's not what I meant. Jacob Tebow, a really good friend of mine and fellow YouTuber who is autistic, right? And all three of these people are different. They have their own ways of communicating and behaving and everything, right? So autism hits people differently, is what I'm saying, right? And this article here that I found, actually, right there, autism, formerly called autism spectrum disorder, and autism spectrum condition, is, and sometimes called the autism spectrum, is a neurodevelopmental disorder characterized by defects in social communication and social interaction, and repetitive or restricted patterns of behaviors, interests, or activities, which can include hyper and hyperactivity to sensory input. Autism is a spectrum disorder, meaning that it can manifest very differently in each person. Because of this, there is a wide variation in the support needs of autistic people. For example, some are non-speaking, while others have proficient spoken language. Psychiatry, wow. Psychiatry has traditionally classified autism and neurodevelopmental disorder, but the autism rights movement and some researchers see autism as part of neurodiversity, the natural diversity in human thinking and experience, with strengths, differences, and weaknesses. Autistic people still have a disability, but need to be accommodated rather than cured. This view of the condition has led to significant controversy among those who are autistic, alongside advocates, practitioners, and charities. There are many theories about what causes autism. It is highly heritable. Highly heritable and believed to be mainly genetic. Okay, so you can inherit it, I think. But many genes are involved. And environmental factors may also be relevant. The syndrome frequently occurs or co-occurs with other conditions, including attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, epilepsy, and intellectual disability. Disagreements continue about questions such as what should be included as part of the diagnosis, whether there are meaningful subtypes of autism, and the significance of autism-associated traits in the wider population. The combination of broader criteria and increased awareness has led to a trend of steadily increasing estimates of autism prevalence, causing a misconception that there is an autism epidemic, and perpetuating the myth that is caused by vaccines. Although there is no cure for autism, early behavioral interventions can help children with speech delays gain self-care, social, and language skills. Independent living is unlikely in those with higher support needs, so intervention for them requires finding and learning alternative modes of communication. It is well established that the atypical antipsychotic drugs, risperidone and aripiprazole, alleviate the associated symptoms of irritability. Wow. So there is no cure. There are drugs that help the condition, but it doesn't make it go away. So, wow. That's crazy. And then here is a kid stacking. So repetitively stacking or lining up objects is a common trait associated with autism. Yeah, they've got their little patterns that they follow, I guess. The friend that I had that I grew up with, he always mumbled to himself. He's always talking to himself, always, just mumbling. And if you listen carefully to what he's saying, he repeats things that he heard. Like throughout the day, he'd be watching TV or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then later on, he'll sit there and he'll, he would sit there and just recite everything that he's heard during the day. And it's like really weird, really, really weird. I mean, he'd be good in a movie because he'd be able to remember his lines really well. My uncle, who has autism, his taste buds are crazy. Like he doesn't go by what things taste like. He goes by the texture of the food, right? So he once put pickles with ice cream because he liked the texture of it. And yeah, it's just weird. But you never know. I mean, there could be pickle-flavored ice cream somewhere. People might like that kind of stuff. So there's a spectrum model, ICD, DSM, pre-diagnosis, broader autism, social and communication skills. It's all this stuff. I'm not going to sit here and read all of this, but oh, look at that. A young autistic boy who has arranged his toys in a row. Huh. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Hundreds of different genes are implicated in susceptibility to developing autism, most of which alter the brain structure in a similar way. Right? Again, with that movie, they were talking about the brain patterns and everything, right? So autistic people have different brain patterns. So if there's aliens coming to the world and they're looking for a specific brain pattern and the autistic people don't have that, then they're not interested in them. And that's why they can't be controlled. Or at least that's my understanding of it. I mean, it does make sense. It does. The whole movie, to me, makes sense. I really like it. I think I'm going to put the link to that movie down below. It's on Facebook Watch. So yeah, if you're not friends with Jacob on Facebook or you haven't seen the movie, the link will be down below so you could easily get to it. I shared it on my Facebook too, so you probably watched it there if you did. MChat screening test for autism for children whose parents or clinicians raise concerns for ASD symptoms. Child may or may not have autism. Follow-up interview, diagnostic workup for ASD. So this is the process for screening and diagnosing ASD. MChat is modified checklist for autism in toddlers. Is positive test result. Plus sign is a positive test result. Minus sign is a negative test result, obviously. Unlikely, child's unlikely. Wow. Alright, an autistic 3-year-old points to fish in an aquarium as part of an experiment on the effect of intensive shared attention training on language development. Reports of autism cases per 1,000 children rose considerably in the U.S. from 1996 to 2007. It is unknown how much growth came from changes in rates of autism. Victor of AVON, a feral child caught in 1798 who displayed possible symptoms of autism. Eugene Bleuler created the concept of autism. Leo Kanner introduced the label early infantile autism in 1943. Charles Forster was the pioneer of what would become known as applied behavior analysis. Temple Grandin became a prominent example of a person with autism. Donna Williams, one of several memoirists who have introduced the general public to a more nuanced emic portrayal of life on the spectrum. Neurodiversity pride flag. Interesting. And that's it. That is it. Okay, so I'm going to put this in my handy dandy notepad. And then I am going to find Jacob's movie. And put it there as well. Alright. So while I'm doing that, let me just recap everything. Oh, I hate this. I keep getting these stupid friend requests. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Alright, I am not going to watch the movie. Yeah, it started playing. Anyway, okay, so there we go. So I've got the 2 links down below in the description box, so if you want to read up on autism a little further than what I read, and then if you want to watch Jacob's movie, that's down there too. So yeah, I mean, I give major props to him. You know, especially when they went and incorporated the fact that he's a YouTuber into the movie, right? So he plays the part of a YouTuber in this movie, and in real life he is a YouTuber. So I think that is cool. You know, it kind of makes me want to make another movie where I'm a YouTuber. But I have no idea what to do or what to make the movie about other than that. So I don't know. If you have any suggestions, let me know. If not, then whatever. It was just an idea anyway. So I am not going to make this a super long video like I have in the last couple videos. So yeah, I just wanted to get this out there and just talk about autism. And, you know, I've been around it pretty much my whole life. So I know what it's like. I know people that have autism. I make friends with people who have autism. I don't care. I'll make friends with anybody. You know, because I don't see the disabled side of them. I see the human side of people. You know, like I don't see race. I don't see religion. I don't see differences of opinions. I don't see like all of this other stuff. I just see a person. And more people in the world need to look at other people in the world as people and not label them as different things. You know, I'm pretty sure people can get along better if they only took that approach to life. But anyway, I'll be back in the next video.